Hey guys, it's Cooper Gretsch here from Kick It to Scoops. I am the sole admin of AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results. You want to be part of the show, Kick It to Scoops? Send through your questions through the Facebook link, which I'll attach every show on the post. And if you want to email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com, send through your questions and you may feature on the show and be answered your question from yours truly, Cooper Gretsch, for free. Yes. Too easy this is.
Yes, Scoops, come on, mate. Keep going.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special edition of Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Cooper Gretsch, the sole admin of AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results. We're back virtual for a few reasons due to the inactivity of my Facebook ban and being able to spread the message out that the show's on and promote what's coming on. I thought the point might as well go virtual. But in saying that, because I'm virtual today and due to the Facebook inactivity, there's a few extra segments to be on the show today. So we'll have my world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang, my rolling all Australian team as per normal, my review and preview of the rounds just gone and upcoming, my team of the week, my round 16 team of the week will be on the show today, as will my Brownlow votes for the round. We don't have any audio message to play, but I do have some messages through my email that I will send. I'm going to mention a few things before my final thoughts as well. And we'll start off with that. Merch is in the works still. We're going to delay it by an extra week due to the Facebook ban. And then we'll mention it in next week's show. And Cameo, you want me on Cameo. Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Now we'll move on to the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. You know what I'm going to bang on about? It's Facebook. Facebook. How you can ban me for doing nothing, being bullied by the bullies, and I get banned? Just ridiculous, Facebook. Lift your game! You know, I could go on and on honestly about it, but there's no point in going on about it. People are jealous of me. People don't like me. That's fine. Don't like my stuff. Don't watch, simply. There's a lot of people that do, and to the trolls that have got me banned, you think you're a real hero. You're not a hero. You're a low-life scumbag, pretty much. That's what you are. Don't like my stuff. As I said, don't watch. I don't need you. I have plenty of loyal, 43,000 plus loyal followers. But the people that threaten my life and, you know, said vile, disgusting names about me, it just shows what low-life scumbags they are. Over a football opinion about Richmond. It's not just Richmond supporters. Some people say it's Richmond supporters. It's all kinds of supporters of any team, but it's just ridiculous. When your team loses, and when I didn't even say anything that, you know, needed the comments that people made, you should never make that regardless of what you think of someone. It's pathetic. Those two people have been banned considerably. You would think I would do that, and so they have been banned. But yeah, Facebook, I asked you to lift the ban. I appealed it. Nothing come about. Typical Facebook standards. I was being bullied by bullies, and I was reported under bullying and harassment. Facebook. That's Facebook for you. But I'm on YouTube as well. So YouTube is the way to go. And that is the one and done edition of Scoops Goes Bang just this week. But with the new segments, it'll be a great show nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed that edition of Scoops Goes Bang. Will be bigger and better next week. We'll now move on to my rolling All-Australian team, the heavily debated rolling All-Australian team after round 16. The back six is unchanged from last week. Go from Jake Lloyd, Stephen May, Isaac Cumming, the back three, and the forward, let me take that back. The back six in the flanks is Jack Crisp with his crisp disposal, and Daniel Rich, because he's a rich boy, and Tom Stewart at centre half back. We'll go with the wingers. New additions to the midfield side of things. And the wing, we've got Ollie Wine still, Jack Steele's the centreman. The other wingman who I've been wanting to put in the side for a long time is Rory Laird. He obviously used to play at halfback a lot for the Crows, pushed to the midfield late last year to perform well. They started him as a permanent midfielder pretty much this year. He's been dominant. Yes, I know he's playing more inside, but Jack Steele's there, and I have to put another player there. Paul Seaman and Carl Amon, I want to point out, are two players I'm heavily considering for the wing spots or a bench spot. Paul Seaman and Carl Amon are players to watch in the next few weeks of plays in those positions or an interchange drop off. Carl Amon and Paul Seaman are two players to watch out for. The forwards, David Mundy, Ben King, who's back in the team after 4-goal performance against Richmond and won on the game. Tiger fans, up the Suns. And Toy Miller, who's having a terrific season, had 36 on the weekend. He was amazing. And Brownlow's smoky. While he is ineligible in terms of where he finishes in the Brownlow count, could be top 3. Toy Miller having a great year. David Mundy is going along okay at the moment. He's dropping off a little bit. So he's a player that is considering being taken out of the side at the moment. He's still performing pretty well. And in the forward pockets, we've got Tex Walker and Toby Green, and Harry Mackay is the full forward. The ruckman is still Brodie Grundy, and the two Rovers and Ruck Rover, or the Ruck Rover and Rover, Jackson McRae and Tom Mitchell. The interchange, Luke Parker, Callum Mills, Zach Merritt. And for the first time this year in the team, and well-deserved too, is Darcy Parish from the Bombers. So 3 overall changes from the round 15 side to the round 16, rolling All-Australian team. In is Rory Laird, Ben King, and Darcy Parish. Out is Josh Bruce, and the probably heavily debated outs, Clayton Oliver and Sam Walsh. Now, neither of them two have done anything wrong, really. I just really wanted to include Darcy Parish and Rory Laird into the team. Both been terrific and have been better than Clayton Oliver and Sam Walsh at this point in time. So they are out, and they're the two that have effectively replaced Walsh and Oliver. And Bruce is out for Ben King. Bruce kicked 2 on the weekend against North Melbourne. Nothing wrong with that. But Ben King had a few lean weeks, but his performance on Thursday night at Marvel Stadium, I was going to say Metric, on a Marvel Stadium against Richmond was one to get him back in the team. Now, I hope you guys enjoy that. Leave your comments down below what your thoughts are. My rolling All-Australian team after round 16 with 3 changes. But now we're going to move on to reviewing and previewing the rounds just gone. Obviously, it was a big round in footy. Some results that went teams' way that they wanted. Some they would be shocked they lost, like the Dockers. But we're going to go through the results right now. The game back on Thursday night, which I mentioned a few times already. Gold Coast 77 defeated Richmond 67 at Marvel Stadium. Dimmer, are you mad, bro? I better watch out. They might give me a YouTube ban as well, right? Because it's so insulting. Apparently it's insulting. You mad, bro? Yeah. Anyway, Dimmer would have been mad. Gold Coast were terrific. Ben King, all hail the king. Benny King kicked 4. Brandon Ferrarini had a good game. Toy Miller was terrific with 36. Amazing. Richmond, 2 back-to-back losses against Gold Coast and the Saints. Their season is cooked. And we're going to mention another side that's cooked very shortly. Geelong, Friday night at GMHBA, 98, defeated Essendon 57. Essendon had a good first quarter, which would have had Geelong fans worried. But in the second quarter, Geelong, I think 7 or 8 goals in that quarter, set up the win for them in the end. And 41-point victory over Essendon helps them be in contention for a top 4 spot. And Essendon hanging outside the 8 now by 6 points, which they'll be devastated about. A game that St Kilda fans, Essendon fans, Freo fans would have wanted Melbourne to beat GWS, and that was not the case. Melbourne 55, defeated by the Giants 64. The Giants had 2 disappointing a draw against North Melbourne and a loss against the Hawks, which they would have been gutted about. But for some reason, I felt that this was the game that GWS could come back in, and they did. They defeated the Demons by 9 points. Tim Taranto was terrific. Toby Green kicked 3, but didn't have a massive possession count. Jacob Hopper, Callum Ward, Lockie Whitfield, a lot of great performances from the Giants, and they deserve the win. And Adam Kennedy had like 18, 19 possessions, but I want to point out what a terrific game he had, an underrated game. And I did consider him for a Brownlow vote, which we're going to mention shortly, but he just missed out. The Crows and the Lions at the Adelaide Oval. Adelaide 59, Brisbane 111. Yeah, Brisbane got the job done. Wasn't as convincing early, but Brisbane put on the foot on the brakes in the second half and did pretty well. Well, it's the wrong analogy, but it doesn't matter. They were terrific Brisbane in the second half. The Saturday night game at the MCG, a free home game at the MCG. Yep, 64 defeated by Carlton 80. Wow. Disappointing. Nick Newman was pretty good. Sean Darcy, he was terrific in the ruck. I think he had over 14 plus hit-outs to advantage. He was dominant on Levi Casbolt and Tom DeConning, two makeshift ruckmen. And Andy Brazier was pretty good as well. But, Carlton, 16-point victory. They'll be pretty impressed with that. Hawthorn and Port Adelaide Saturday night in what was Sean Burgoyne's 400th game. Just want to point out quickly what a great career Sean Burgoyne has had, who obviously retire at the end of the year, probably on about 405 games. His silk disposal, his silk kicking. He's a fantastic player, Sean Burgoyne, that is. Terrific player. Sean, what do I keep saying Jordan for? I have no idea. Sean Burgoyne, congratulations on a great career. But unfortunately, in his 400th, the Hawks could not get the job done. Hawthorn 53 to the power 87. Charlie Dixon was good. Darcy Byrne-Jones was good. Ollie Wines was good yet again. A lot of great plays in that game for the power, and Carl Amon too. The Swans at GMHBA Stadium on Sunday. Yes, GMHBA ground that West have played poorly at. Talk about cooked. West Coast are officially cooked. 26 the Eagles to the Swans 118. 92-point victory to the Swans at GMHBA, who they played pretty well at, the Swans at GMHBA Stadium. And 118 to 26 was a dominant performance. Isaac Keeney was good. Buddy was good. Jordan Dawson was good. There's a lot of great. Lou Parker was good. Callum Mills, a lot of great performances of the Swans. Evenly balanced out performance from the Swans. The Pies and the Saints at the G. St Kilda 70, Collingwood 61. Saints were very, very good for the first 3 quarters. Took the foot off the brake in the last quarter. They went home in the last quarter because they kicked 6 or 7 unanswered goals. And I was getting a bit nervous towards the end of the game, but clearly the Saints held on by 9 points at the G. Big game this week against the Lions, potentially at the Gabba. The Western Bulldogs, 108 to North Melbourne 79 at Marvel Stadium yesterday in the Twilight game. The Bulldogs did what they had to do. North started off all right. As some journalists are saying, it wasn't the best. It was one of the best 5-goal losses of the year. It was North Melbourne. They were really getting smashed. They got out to 49 points. But similar to the Pies Saints game, North Melbourne kept coming in the last quarter. But not what the difference was. Bulldogs did pile a few late goals to make the margin back out to what it was, 79 to 108. Now we'll preview the round 17 matches. The times and venues are to be determined for every game bar the following game. Well, this has been recorded on a Monday afternoon, so as of right now, the fixture dates and times aren't out yet, and venues for that matter. But Port Adelaide v Melbourne, at the Adelaide Oval on Thursday night. They only confirmed time slot so far in venue. Port Adelaide and Melbourne. I think Port Adelaide should win this. Melbourne is starting to be on the decline a little bit. A few losses to Collingwood and GWS lately. And the spot in the top 4 is up for debate as well. But I'm going to go for the power at home. Ollie Wines is setting terrific form. GWS and Gold Coast. This is potentially, according to Tom Morris, this could be at GMHBA or Ballarat. So neutral venue for both sides. It won't be in Sydney, clearly. GWS and Gold Coast. I'm going to go for the Giants. They should do well against the Gold Coast. But Benny King will be one to watch out for the Giants. The game potentially at the Gabba or in Melbourne. Brisbane Lions v St Kilda. You would think the Lions would win, but my Saints, if this is in Melbourne, they'll be up and about. They did it to Richmond. They did it to Collingwood. They're starting to get players back. Say Jones will be back this week, whether that's through the AFL or VFL. Rats have said it's still undecided at this current time. I'm going to go for the Saints, but the Lions, they're a hard outfit to play, especially at the Gabba. Carlton and Geelong at the MCG. I'm going to go for Geelong in this one. It should be too good for Carlton. With no Jeremy Cameron, who's set to miss several weeks. As of a few hours ago, on me recording this, it's been revealed that Jeremy Cameron is going to miss several weeks, up to a month potentially as well, with that hamstring injury. So not good for Geelong fans, but they should still beat Carlton. Essendon and Adelaide, potentially a marvel. Essendon, sure, yeah, I think Essendon might win there. Richmond and Collingwood at the MCG. This is really hard because Richmond been awful the last 2 weeks. Collingwood were awful for 3/4 yesterday against the Saints. But, I'm going to go for Collingwood and what you may call an upset. Brodie Grundy, if they can click how they perform that last quarter, they'll beat Richmond, who are on the decline with the Eagles as well. The Western Bulldogs and Sydney at Marvel Stadium. Aaron Norton will miss through concussion. Swans are up and about after their massive win over the Eagles at GMHBA yesterday. So I'm going to go for the Swans. It's hard to tip against the Bulldogs. I was leaning towards them, but now just thinking with Norton out, it could be a big loss. With Shaki or a potential debutant in Jamara Ugle-Hagan, the number 1 draft pick, who's been pretty average this year in the VFL, so he hasn't warranted to spot the team at all, by the way. But I'm going to go for the Swans. Hawks and Freo. I think this may be in Tassie, but it will be in Tassie. I'm going to go for the Dockers. And the final game of the round that I'm going to preview, West Coast and North Melbourne. Obviously, it won't be in Perth. Well, it could be in Perth. But yeah, I'm going to go for. If this is in Perth, I am going for West Coast. But if this is not in Perth, I'm going for North Melbourne because West Coast are terrible away from home. That's just a fact. I've only won a game this year away from home. That was in Sydney against Carlton. And it's Carlton. So there you go. I hope you guys let me know your thoughts and below who you would tip in the round upcoming and what you think. Now, for the first time ever, I will be exclusively revealing my team of the week and Brownlow votes. But first, my heavily debated round 16 AFL team of the week. Now, we're going to go in the back half first. Callum Wilkie, who was terrific yesterday for the Saints against the Pies, the back half. Marcus Adams was dominant at fullback for the Brisbane Lions against the Crows. Christian Salem in the back pocket, 31 touches and a goal on the weekend, deserves a spot. Brad Hill, he was terrific with 30 disposals, over 600 metres gained. He deserves his spot there. And I think 80% efficiency too, which is elite from Brad Hill, back to his best. And the reason why the Saints recruited him for his great ball use. Graham Birchall, he was terrific in the back half, as was Jack Lukosius. His kicking is also elite. The wingers, Darcy Parish and Rory Laird, both very dominant. Ollie Wines, the centreman. The forward 6, headlined by Ben King, Charlie Dixon, Callum Mills. I know he's played midfield. I put a midfielder at the half-forward line. Lincoln McCarthy and Zach Bailey were 2 dominant forwards on the weekend against the Crows. And as was Tom Hawkins, a full forward, kicking 6. The ruckman, Sean Darcy, I mentioned earlier, 14-plus hit-outs. He is the ruckman for this week. The centreman, Jack Steele, 36, 12 clearances, 12-plus tackles. He's a beast, as is Toik Miller, 36 and a goal. He's fantastic, Toik Miller. The interchange, Aaron All at 31 off halfback was pretty good. And 3 forwards, Cody Waitman, Lance Franklin, and Cam Zerha were pretty good. And the emergencies I have, Paddy Dangerfield, Jake Stringer, and Darcy Byrne-Jones. You could easily have been put in the side. Stringer wasn't put in because there's so many forwards in that team. Darcy Byrne-Jones, because I prefer a lot of them back on just over him. But he did pretty well still, and Dangerfield was probably the next choice midfielder for me. Now, I hope you guys enjoy that team of the week. Leave your thoughts down below who you would have put in there. Don't just say, no, that's a good replacement, shouldn't be there. Actually name a replacement and a reason why. Otherwise, I'm not interested to hear what you think. We'll now move on to my heavily debated Brownlow votes. The first time I will be exclusively revealing my Brownlow votes on the show today. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below if you want it potentially in future episodes. So my Brownlow votes going all the way back to Thursday night at Marvel Stadium was Gold Coast v Richmond. 1 vote. I want to read it like Gilwood. Gold Coast, Jack Lukosius, 1 vote. Gold Coast, Ben King, 2 votes. Gold Coast, Toik Miller, 3 votes. Geelong v Essendon. Geelong, Tom Hawkins, 1 vote. Geelong, P. Dangerfield, 2 votes. Essendon, D. Parish, 3 votes. Melbourne versus GWS. GWS, Tim Taranto, 1 vote. GWS, Josh Kelly, 2 votes. Melbourne, Christian Salem, 3 votes. Adelaide v Brisbane. Brisbane, Lincoln McCarthy, 1 vote. Brisbane, Zach Bailey, 2 votes. Adelaide, Rory Laird, 3 votes. Hawthorn versus Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide, Darcy Byrne-Jones, 1 vote. Port Adelaide, Carl Amon, 2 votes. Port Adelaide, O'Wines, 3 votes. Fremantle v Carlton. Carlton, and Newman, 1 vote. Fremantle, A. Brayshaw, 2 votes. Fremantle, S. Darcy, 3 votes. Sydney v West Coast. Sydney, J. Dawson, 1 vote. Sydney, Al Parker, 2 votes. Sydney, C. Mills, 3 votes. Collingwood v St Kilda. St Kilda, M. Wood, 1 vote. St Kilda, M. Hill, B. Hill, 2 votes, sorry. St Kilda, J. Steele, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v North Melbourne. Western Bulldogs, C. Waitman, 1 vote. Western Bulldogs, J. McRae, 2 votes. North Melbourne, A. Hall, 3 votes. The leaderboard after round 16. 17 votes, Jack Steele. 20 votes, Ollie Wines, 20 votes. And Eagles second on 21 votes, Toik Miller and Tom Mitchell. And the runaway leader after round 16, 8 votes ahead of Toik Miller and Tom Mitchell on 21. On 29 votes from the Western Bulldogs, Jackson McRae. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed my rendition of reading out the Brownlow votes. I enjoyed it, reading it like Gil does. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that, and let me know your thoughts down below of my Brownlow votes and whether you think I made the right call. And if you don't, please tell me who and why. Don't just say, oh, he shouldn't be there. Give an actual solid reason. Otherwise, I'm not interested in listening to you. Now, I'm going to tease you something, guys. We're going to play a trailer. The goal reenactment that I did last week of Eddie Betts, which was heavily viewed on Facebook and YouTube, over 2,500 comments and reactions to my Eddie Betts goal and my intro to my segment in this show today, which you would have seen at today's top of the show today. I'm just going to tease you this goal from the world famous. Oh, sorry, I don't know the world famous. I'm the world famous. I have the world famous segment script. Bang, yes, I know. We all know that. The superstar of the AFL competition, who is approaching 1,000 goals, career goals in the AFL. I'm going to reenact next week live on the show the goal reenactment from Buddy Franklin, the superstar Lance Franklin. What Buddy goal? Because he's kicked over 970 plus career goals. Wow. I'm sure Essendon fans and Hawk fans remember this one very, very well. I am going to reenact this following Buddy Franklin goal for the Hawks against Essendon and Cale Hooker. If you're not sure what video I'm talking about or what goal I'm talking about, we're going to play right now. And what you see is what I'm going to reenact next week.
Towards the kick-off line, missed in front by Schoenmakers, gets a hand pass away to Ellis, under pressure, kicks it outside the defence at 50. Good talk. Lewis called his teammate Burgoyne out, kicks it up towards the wing. Buddy Franklin goes back. Advantage is paid. It's a one-man He's away, running down towards the 50. Can he do it again? Man running back towards the goal square. Needs to be closer. He can't bounce it through. He kicks it through on the full. Franklin, 5 goals.
And they're all the same. This has been the way he's done it.
Wow. Guys, you've seen that amazing goal from a long, long time ago for Buddy Franklin when he was representing the Hawks against Essendon and Cale Hooker. Cale Hooker would still be having nightmares from that goal. Well, yours truly, Cooper Gretsch, the sole admin of AFL Information, Trade Rumours and Results, will be reenacting that goal next week live on the show. I hope you guys enjoy it because, trust me, I am going to enjoy attempting that goal. And I will nail it first shot just like I did the Eddie Betts goal. Now, we're going to read some of your messages. I'm just going to get some of them up, a mixture of Facebook messages and emailing us at aflinfolive@gmail.com. If you ever want your questions on the show, send through an audio message through the email, preferably over text, so we can play your voice on the show. But because there's no voice messages, I'm going to read some of your messages through email and Facebook. This email has been sent through from Jared O'Regan. He says, "G'day, Scooper. If a Saints player, Jack Steele, for example, had done what Joel Selwood did against the Bulldogs not so long ago, would you be wanting a suspension for him, or would you be like, nah, just a fine? He wants me to be honest. If any player done what Joel did, I said at the time, Jared, if you were listening and bothered to listen, that anyone does a stupid, cruel act like that should be suspended a long time. As I said, if Toby Green had done that, people would be asking for 3+ weeks and, would want more. So, Jared, yes, if a St Kilda player had done that, I'll be saying the same thing I said. I'm not going to change my opinion just because it was a player that I like and compared to Joel Selwood. But anyway, now we'll move on to some of your Facebook questions. I'm not going to mention any names here, but some of the questions I have here are trade-related, a mixture of questions, coaching, etc. One is Trent Dumont from the Roos going back to Adelaide? There was talk about that last year, wasn't it? I think Trent's just come back from injury. The Roos starting to settle back in. I would say that is a possibility of happening, but probably too early to tell. Another question is, what type of play would you like to see the Saints try to lure in the offseason to become a real premiership contender? Very good question. We probably need some ruck depth after Paddy Ryder retires at the end of next year. St Kilda love that ruck forward duo, Paddy Ryder and Rowan Marshall, very dominant. St Kilda are almost unbeatable with the two in the side, as proven this year. The 2 full games they played is the last 2 weeks, and the Saints have won against Richmond and Collingwood. So, yes, it does work. But when Paddy Ryder retires, we need that depth option there. So, Rowe could be the star ruckman. Then you'll probably need another ruckman that can play forward or vice versa. So, Rowe could be the forward mainly. Then you would then need a ruckman. So, whatever way they want to use Marshall as the more ruck or more forward, need the opposite there to help Membry and King. They play Josh Battle there, but they probably need someone else. Ben King is a good option that from the Suns. It could obviously happen. And another key defender for Dougal Howard, obviously. Chip Frawley's probably going to retire at the end of the year. Jakey Carlisle's injured for the rest of the year and probably will retire at the end of the year as well. So Dougal does need some help in the key defensive stocks. Then we'll move on to another question here, which I thought is a very good question here. Best coach at the moment, best coach in the waiting. The best coach in the waiting probably is Ross Lyon or Sam Mitchell. I could see either of those two sides coaching Collingwood next season, replacing Bucks. Bucks probably is a coach in waiting as well, probably just not in the next year or so. And never write out Brad Scott. And best coach at the moment, probably Chris Fagan. They're always consistent. I mean, I know you could say Luke Beveridge or Simon Goodwin, but I'm going to go Chris Fagan. The Lions are doing pretty well and probably are a contender for the premiership this year. We'll move on to the final question here. Who coaches the Pies next year? I kind of alluded to that there. Could be Sam Mitchell. If Clarko doesn't go from Hawthorn, he could stay at he could leave the Hawks. Sam Mitchell is a VFL coach at the moment at Box Hill, doing a solid job there. But yeah, I think it could be Sam Mitchell or Ross Lyon, to be honest. That was your questions for this week. If you want any questions sent through and answered on the show, you know what to do. Email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com and send through an audio message, please, and I'll play them on the show and you'll hear your own voice on Kick It to Scoops. Well, maybe not on Scoops, but you'll hear it on Kick It to Scoops, and that's for sure. Now, before I go on to my final thoughts, guys, I have got the top 20 highest paid players list in the AFL via the Herald Sun. The top 20. So these top 20 paid players in the competition range from 800,000 plus to $1.5 million. Now, I'm just going to mention the list here, and then I'll give some thoughts on some of the players and who may not be in there or may be overpaid in that list. We've got 20. Number 20 is Tom Mitchell from 800 to 850. Danaher at 19 at 800, 850 also, as is Brad Hill at 18, as is Max Gawn at 17, Josh Kelly at 16 from 800 to 850, as is Lockie Whitfield and Christian Petrarca. So from the 20 to 14, all are paid between the $800 to $850,000 range. Probably fair for all those players, or worth it. Maybe question Joe Danaher, but the rest is certainly worth it. In 13th place is Isaac Heaney at estimated $825 to $875K. Probably a surprise. I mean, he's a gun player. He's a low possession player. It can be a high possession player, probably mid-15 range. Kick a couple of goals a game. Is it worth a lot? He's Isaac Kenny, but I suppose he's a good player, though. Rory Sloan. Sorry, take that back. Rory Sloan. Sorry, guys. He's Rory Sloan at number 12 at 825,000 to 900. probably a little bit of surprise now, but again, you got backhanded contracts where the money's towards the end of your contract. That's why he's totally up there, but Rory Sloane's still a good player. Number 11 is Adam Treloar at 850,000 to 900. Obviously, come from Pies. Pies are playing a lot of that salary at the moment, so the Bulldogs are paying, I think, just under half at the moment. Now, the top 10 highest paid players in the AFL via the Herald Sun. Number 10, from 850 to 900K, is Jeremy Cameron. The following 4, 9, 8, 7, and 6 are estimated 900 to 950K. Marcus Bontempelli, Stephen Cornelio, Paddy Cripps, and Paddy Dangerfield. Probably all warranted there. Although I suppose it's debatable about Cripps being worth that much. Anyway, and Dangerfield even now. Number 5, at 925,000 to 975K, is Brodie Grundy. Probably he's the most paid ruckman in the competition by far and deserves that pay packet, Brodie Grundy, because he's a superstar. Number 4, estimated 1.0, again, very Pacific here. Number 4, Nat 5, 1.075 million to 1.1 million. Nat 5 at number 4 is a gun player. Dustin Martin from Richmond. Yes, Dustin Martin does exist too. Number 3 at 1.2 million to 1.25. Pretty surprising there. Yes, he's an impact player, but his disposal is questionable. Now, the most shocking of them all, the second highest paid player in the AFL at 1.2 million to 1.25. I was saying to my producer and camera crew, what a big shock this is. Jeremy McGovern, 1.2 million to 1.25 from the Eagles. Again, could be a heavily back-ended contract, which could be the reason why he's the second highest paid at the moment. Still a shocker. Great intercept mark from the Eagles, out injured at the moment, obviously. At number 1, which is no surprise, but the money amount may be, Buddy Franklin, when he signed that 10-year deal with the Swans, however many years it was, 9 years, whatever it was, Buddy Franklin, 1.5 million to 1.45 million to 1.5 million is the highest paid player in the competition. Let me know your thoughts. The highest paid players in the competition. As I said, the shocks probably is Jeremy McGovern at number 2. And yeah, probably Rory Sloane and Isaac Henny at 12 and 13 at 825 to 900K range. Now, I'm going to move on to my final thoughts. Well, one thing I want to confirm to you all, which the following person I'm going to mention has confirmed, Bev, the Bev Show. You guys want to Bev on. He will be on the show, or I will be on his show. We're not 100% sure. With the final details will be confirmed. But Bev will be on the show. Well, I'll repeat this. Bev will be on the show, or I will be on his show, a mixture of both potentially. We are working through when and how we will do it and what will be on the show. I trust me when I say it's a show you don't want to miss. You have all wanted it. You are going to get it. Yeah, my final thoughts are, guys, simply this. Please go to my merch site. If you want to buy my merch, you know what to do. Head to the website, which is attached in every YouTube show. And normally I say also on Facebook, but I can't post on Facebook at the moment until Friday night at around 10 p.m. So if you're wondering why I'm not posting scores, news, opinions, and everything, I can't until Friday night about 10 p.m. So apologies in advance for the Port Adelaide Melbourne game. I will not be able to post those results on Thursday night also. And the Friday night game, I may be late to posting the results of whatever game that is, which is yet to be determined as of this recording. Now, you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Hope you guys enjoyed this virtual edition of Kick It to Scoops. Hopefully back in person next week with the Facebook ban lifted and back to what we always want to do, in person, and me reenacting the legendary Buddy Franklin's goal against Essendon. Hooker still has nightmares. All the best, guys, and most importantly,
Go Saints!
Go Saints!